Because in epigenetics, it's going to tell you wherever you at, you broadcasting from another location, and the broadcast receiver is your biological entity called a Earth rover, a Earth meat rover, a meat suit. And you'll understand how the frequencies translate into information in the DNA that animates your reality, right? And it's important to break free from all of the defense hatreds. Now, the defense hatreds is you developed a hate along a certain line to defend yourself against a so-called white supremacist or a Republican or a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, whatever. You developed a defense mechanism of hatred to defend you from the onslaught of their hatred. But you don't think you're affected by it because you find yourself in the position of right according to how you interpreted the problem. So once you discovered you was in the position of right, it justifies you to hold on to the hatred that's blocking your ascension. But you have no clue that you holding on to the hatred because you don't have a clue that it's a response to the hate that you gave. Somebody gave you hate and you had to turn it around, alchemicalize it, and turn it into defensive hate so that it doesn't diminish your self-esteem. But now it's time for you to let go of all of the hates and embrace infinite wisdom by incarnating divine love frequency, right? This is what the activating of the matriarchy side effect is. When the women start turning on this unconditional love field, they start speaking life into their man instead of having to tell a motherfucker some shit. Instead of always having to tell a motherfucker some shit. Some of the people you got to tell some shit, you speaking aggressively tearing them down when they might need your words of wisdom and a little bit of compassion in order to straighten up their reality. But we always got to tell a motherfucker some shit. I can't let a motherfucker get away unless I tell him. You don't got to tell a motherfucker shit. Get out of that psychological damaging bullshit that you obligated to bitch check a motherfucker because they saying some stuff or they did some stuff. If you ain't ready to go to all the way to the extreme, let that shit go. Because you don't know the person that you got to tell something to might be in the right mood to be prepared to go to the worst of extremes if a motherfucker tell them something on this day. Yesterday, nope. Tomorrow, nope. But today, yep. Stop trying to always get the last word. That means you insecure. If you always got to get the last word, you have insecurities in yourself where you feel like motherfuckers can't hear you. Stop giving a fuck if motherfuckers hear you. Stop caring so much if people think you crazy or different or whatever. Because all they doing is using your emotions to manipulate you into a self-defeating psychological profile that only end up becoming a problem to you in the end. You do not have to tell a motherfucker a thing. You don't have to be disrespectful and curse everybody out. You don't always got to have the last word. Right? Sometimes it's better to take a deep breath and say, that ain't even worth my time. I'm not finna let that shit upset my peace. Because when you can stand there in your peace, the motherfuckers that's trying to upset you falls into their own misery when it don't work. You staying peaceful in the midst of hostilities will make a motherfucker dive off of a 40 story building in frustration rather than deal with you not giving a fuck. And that's just the way it is. We don't always need to tell a motherfucker nothing. Go back to The Godfather. Vito Corleone told Sonny Corleone, never tell a man what you're thinking. Why would he tell him that? Because when people know what you're thinking, they know how to put obstacles in your path. They know how to interfere with your progress. They know how to tear your shit down before you even get builded up. Stop telling all your business. Don't tell strangers your personal life when you first meet them. They might not even be the type of people that you want knowing about your life, but you done told them all your shit before you realize, I wish I wouldn't have told that motherfucker nothing. You would rather say, I wish I have a chance in the future to tell them something than to be regretting telling them something before you got to know them. You know. It's all part of a war front to keep us in them low vibrating energies. We watching our government commit criminal activity and prosecute the ones that was born to change our condition using attrition, meaning gradually changing the part they could. And when they all got done changing, we'll all be changed into our own culture again. But rather than do that, now we need the shock and awe, artificially manufactured savior bullshit, Barack Obama, first black president drama, in order to make us feel like we worth being here. And he didn't care two shits about us. He one of them look like us but ain't us ass niggas. Because he ain't did nothing for us. Anybody that you look up to as a celebrity, all you have to do to determine if they with us or against us is try to find out what did they do in the neighborhood they from. If these people got on and got millions of dollars and moved out there to some big old overpriced building and disregarded the whole community that reared them and helped them to develop their talent and skill set, and they don't do nothing to reach back to assist anybody in the community, they ain't none of us. They not none of us. Look, before the settlers came, we was the type, we would go all the way across the country and send resources we had accumulated back so that the family can utilize it to help the most people in the family. Now what we do, we move to the other side of the country and keep it all to ourselves. That's not our behavior. That's not our people. That's not natural to us. Look, go watch them young cats hang out on the block. And when I came up, we was drinking 40s. When we was drinking 40s, I live in Pontiac. If I would have went to Detroit and to a park and be like, who want a 40? With a box of 40s, they would have all been cool. Come on, that's what we do. This is how we meet each other. This is how we get to know each other. We do stuff to bring us together so we can get to learn each other, learn how to best communicate across different cultural barriers, and we start with the ones that's in the other side of town, the family down the street, right? The ones that live in the house behind us. I ain't never talked to them. I think I'm going to go around there today and see if the old man want a beer. right? Oh, son, I don't drink beer, but you can go grab me a scotch. Now you just got to know somebody in your neighborhood that you didn't know 20 minutes earlier because you asked him, did he want to have a beer? This is what they used to call Southern hospitality. But this used to be all over the land because everybody all over the land come from the Southern hospitality of the old Mississippians. That's the root stock. And everybody developed different practices that define their tribal differences. And we never held it against each other till the settlers came and told us that if the Apaches want to keep putting patches on their denim, right, and the Mohawk want to keep cutting around the sides of their head instead of cutting that shit out the middle, right, then y'all can't work together. And we fell for it. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to keep telling y'all the truth. I'm standing in the position of right, exercising my birthright, because we done already did that. Now it's just a matter of when do the military-industrial complex, which is now Raven Rock Continuity of Government Complex, when will they roll out the Gitmo files, the Pizzagate files, the what's the other one? Frazzle Drip files, the Hunter Biden files, the Little Lolita files. They did all of this stuff. Half of this stuff is already out there. And some, like for instance, I got the contents of Hunter Biden laptop, and that shit horrible. He got a whole bunch of pictures with hookers and shit off. He got more freaky shit than dope shit in there. And they made more fun of him for the dope than they did the freaky shit. That boy was twisted in his sexuality. They even got pictures of Obama oldest girl butt naked with him. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's true, but the political rumors in D.C. say old Joe was stroking her too. And she was underage, and Barack and Big Mike knew about it. All them people, I told you, they'll sell their kids and they'll sell their mama. And they'll buy some kids to act like they their kids in order to make you think they had some kids. They've been using technology that they never told us they have to facilitate the deception. Right? These people sick. This why it's so hard on the people that want to help, because they try to project their sickness onto you as if you the same sick as them, and you ain't nothing like them people. And then we got the bandwagon gossip committee that as soon as some negative shit come on, it don't have to be true. They gonna jingle bells that negative shit all across the land like it's the hardcore facts. Right? They accuse a motherfucker of something. They accuse me of some shit. Ain't no police came knocking on my door to ask me no questions, though. To find out if it's any validity to the allegations. Ain't no special crime victim unit been here asking me anything. Because motherfuckers know bullshit when they hear it. See, they can come on social media and drag a motherfucker, right? But they can't make up them false stories all the time. If the police ain't in on it, they gonna see right through that bullshit. They gonna see through it every time. Because you don't just accuse people of shit because you can accuse them. And this, like I was telling my brother, the worst rape case is a buyer's regret rape case, where the chick like Mike Tyson. The girl get mad because he don't walk her to her car and send her roses in the morning, so she want to cry rape after the fact that she done came to this man on the booty call hour that every woman in America know that a hotel at 2 a.m. is booty call time. Every woman in America know that. 2 a.m. at a hotel with a guy you don't barely know is booty call hour. Every one of the sisters know that. The white girls know it. The sausage chicks know it, right? The roster chicks know it. And all of the women in America know that if they get up and leave their own room, home or hotel, go to a man room by themselves at 2 o'clock in the morning with alcohol, somebody planning on having sex. Every woman know that. Right? Now, there is no defense for that kind of bullshit. Because the allegation is the only evidence. Now it's her word against his word, and he can't say nothing because he don't know what the fuck she talking about. Well, where'd she get this shit from? Same thing with Tupac. The chick said Tupac didn't rape her, but he left her in the room with the dudes that did rape her and went to sleep on the couch in the living room. And because of that, he was guilty of rape. That's retarded. That's retarded. Why did you stay your grown ass in the room with them niggas you already knew when Pac barely knew any of you motherfuckers? But don't nobody want to ask that question. Because now they saying you being harsh on the victim and you blaming the victim, but you ain't nobody asking no real questions. Because when you start asking real questions, that whole case come out to be an exposure as a fraud. It was a setup from the word go. Now, 23, 24, 25 years later, all of the shit then came out that Jimmy Hinchman was behind it. He paid the motherfuckers to rob Tupac at Quad Studios. He told them to discipline him and take his shit for being a smart ass on the phone because he wanted him to record on a Little Shine video, and Pac was trying to avoid them niggas because Biggie told him, stay away from them niggas. Them niggas don't mean you no good. Pac trying to find out from Big before he started dealing with these suckers, why are you telling me this, Big? But Big don't never get a chance to tell him because the next time he see Pac, this nigga's coming up the elevator bleeding and shot. Yeah, but we know how to, we intelligent people and we can see. Stevie Wonder can see better than 98% of these goofballs. You don't believe me? The lady was showing him something on her cell phone. And I know you can teach kids to read blindfolded, so why not teach a blind man to see? Right? Because whatever agency of vision that the blindfolded children is using to read and tell you colors and do math problems with their eyes covered, then I'm pretty sure that you could use the same method to teach somebody with no eyes to activate their visual cortex and see through their third eye transmitter. I'm just saying. We so behind in the basic analysis of things. Like America put Saddam Hussein in power and then turned on him to sell Iran small munitions to fight against America's #1 ally in the region. That's betrayal. And there is no other name for it but betrayal. So now they mad at Saddam And they try to make amends. What they do? They gave them sarin nerve gas, botulinum toxin, and VX nerve gas, along with other military munitions as a compensation for giving Iran the small arms to fight the Iraqi military. Guess how all of it blow up? The Iraqis have a battle with the Iranians. Now keep in mind, all this is going on first term Reagan administration. They find out when they blow up a whole bunch of Iranian soldiers and find out they all got M16 American-made grenade launchers and American-made surface-to-air missiles and rocket launchers and other small munitions. So Saddam picked the phone up and he called over here like, hey, what y'all doing, man? How y'all gonna be giving these motherfuckers shit to fight me and I'm your homeboy? And then, oh no, we'll make it up to you. They give them all them gases, and then they use that as the justification to go run up in this country. In the first Gulf War. In the second Gulf War. Yeah, they knew he had weapons of mass destruction because they gave them to him. The problem is they don't know where he did with them. Yes, they do. Because the CIA report said that all of the remaining munitions, or what they call chemical weapons, was given to King Hassan of Syria. And they said he's worse than Saddam Hussein, because if we try to go get him out of Syria, he'll dump all that shit on Israel. And he will. And he is worse than Saddam. But he been right the whole time. That's the difference. See, Saddam came in wrong. But Hassan did everything right. But we ain't supposed to be aware of Middle Eastern politics proper. We only supposed to fall for the rhetorical dogma they give us on the 6 o'clock news. Like some of us don't know how to get information from people from the region that's not going to tell you the same lies that the government telling you, and that's why they don't want them over here. They don't want them befriending the people of the land that government is a fake government attacking their people, because then we gonna find out that we the ones that's being deceived the most, because these people pretending to be our government don't got nothing to do with the majority of the people on the land. We was fighting all of these marching and shit, civil rights, fighting to be part of something that didn't have nothing to do with us. The U.S. corporation never had anything to do with anybody other than the settlers that came as the 13 colonies. Anybody else incorporated under that was forced in it by deception, trickery, and deceit. And that make up about 98% of the rest of the country. We was all lied to, defrauded into believing that this corporation established in Paris under the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is our government, but ain't nan one of them tribal leaders' name on that treaty. Not one. You don't see Little River running. You don't see Chief Standing Bear. You don't see Chief Blue Hawk, Chief Black Hawk. You don't see none of that on that document because it didn't have nothing to do with us. But as long as we allowed them to dress in their uniforms under their uniform commercial system, they was able to appear to be more legitimate than the ones who's casually on the land, from the land, who's supposed to be taking care of the land. Go read David Walker's Appeal, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So I needed to talk about Noriega and how the government use crime. They create the government is an ongoing criminal enterprise that was financed, chartered, and sanctioned by the Crown of England and the Vatican, the crown of Spain, the crown of France, and a few more lesser kingdoms of Europe. Had nothing to do with the tribes of the land, had nothing to do with the people. They convinced us to fight wars based on skin on the land, and at the same time adopted us from both skin tones to go and fight their wars overseas. Now we allowed to go overseas and kill together, but we only allowed to kill each other over here. Make that shit make sense. I'm only gonna be your friend in Vietnam when we get back to America. We bloody enemies again. Now, I'm not finna go to war with nobody I gotta feel like that about. I'm not finna do it. You go fight that war without me. I don't need to go over there. If we gonna go over there and kill up a whole bunch of people and come back over here and be enemy, I'm leaving your ass over there with all them people we killed. And you can be in a similarly situated conditions as the ones we came to get rid of. Because if I gotta come back home and fight the motherfucker who I had to fight next to overseas, then I'm not going home. One, because at home you don't fight, you don't sleep with the enemy. You don't stand shoulder to shoulder and fight with the enemy at home. So you got to be going into a foreign territory, but you from here. So something ain't right with the politics of the land where you under the false pretense of being in the foreign territory by standing side to side with somebody that swore to be your enemy. You didn't swear to be theirs. They swore to be yours. You got to remember it's a difference in the two. We never swore to be anybody's enemy. And these motherfuckers swore to be our enemy unto their death. Well, it's time to behead them. Because we not finna keep them. We never swore to be their enemy. They swore to be ours. Turnabout fair play. Right? So, you can take that shit to the bank. That shit good as gold. Because the truth is golden. Wise words is platinum. Watch out now. But, this is, 109, 11. Yeah, that's 2 hours in. So we're going to wrap it up here. And I'm going to have to try to call the Empress if it ain't too late. It might be too late. But I'm going to talk to y'all later. If I get any updates, I'm going to be back. If I get the messages to do another analysis of the system that we overthrowing so people can understand why we have to overthrow this system, then I'll do that. Because today we talking about the legal system where one criminal can prosecute you as if they wasn't your co-defendant. As in America prosecuting Manuel Noriega. He ain't the only one they done it to. You gotta remember, America also was the ones behind Pablo Escobar. He was originally an asset for the DEA, right? And then you got to remember that the vacuum left created El Chapo. See, El Chapo didn't know that this government was more like a mafia than the government of the people. They had nothing to do with the people. So all the time, he trying not to violate the people because he don't know that the government is separate from the people and they don't even have the same interests. All the people want is to go back to the matriarchy and the great law. All the government want is to systematically extort us until we discover the extortion, then they want us dead. And as I say, my heartbeat telling me I might be still alive. This pain in my side mean that life is implied, but this fight deep inside say continue to rise, continue to struggle, continue to fight and rage against this beast that only want to see me die. And that's my heartbeat. Right? So, we're going to sign out here. Peace and love to the good families out there. Hopefully I offered something that can help y'all to see through the illusion a little bit faster, because we about to come into shock and awe coming up real soon. And that's when all of the ones who was saying we ain't know what we was talking about get bombarded with truth bombs at every turn, to the point where they fall back and say,